Well, as Larry mentioned, he was third cousins with the congressman. Well, in Kentucky, we're all related.
And you can tell.
We were lucky enough to have Senator Rand Paul with us today. Todd actually met one of his ladies in Kentucky. We had the USDOT on education programs going on. She said, hey, we'd like to get Senator Paul in front of you all. We said, we'd love to have him. Huge win for us. Thanks for coming. A little bit about the senator. He's from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Home of the Corvette, American icon. He's a small business owner. He's an ophthalmologist. And I'll read a little bit about the committees that he is on here in Washington. He was elected to the Senate in 2010. He currently is working, the rest of them here. The Senate committees: Homeland Security, Government Affairs, Energy and National Resources, Health, Education, Labor, Pensions, Small Business and Entrepreneurship. Senator Paul is also a co-sponsor of S-164, withholding the Tax Relief Act of 2011, which repealed the 3% rule. Please welcome Senator Rand Paul.
Thank you. Thanks for coming and allowing me to come this morning. I guess with all the rain down on the Florida coast, you may have heard about a month or two before this happened, God showed up and he talked to Noah. There's a modern day Noah down there, and he asked him to start building an ark because it was going to be a big rain. So God left, and Noah, the modern day Noah, started work, and God came back 6 months later, and the ark's sitting there half built. And God's looking disappointed, and modern day Noah's like, well, I ran into problems from the outset. I said, I had the plans you gave me, and they said they weren't up to code. They told me I needed a surety bond, but I wasn't adherent to Davis-Bacon, so I couldn't get a surety bond. I started chopping down wood, and the Sierra Club came and said there was a spotted owl in the woods, and I couldn't have any more wood. I had 2 carpenters, but then they told me I needed 16 carpenters. They unionized, and then they all wanted a place on the boat too. PETA showed up and said the cages were too small. The IRS showed up and said that I had converted my paper currency to gold, that that was against the Patriot Act, and I wasn't leaving. I was trying to get out of the country with my income. And God looked disappointed, and then God started to smile a little bit, and he said, it's okay, Noah. And Noah said, well, does this mean you're not going to destroy the earth? And he said, no, your government already has. We're heading in that direction, if you haven't noticed. The government's involved with everything. Mayor Bloomberg wants to know how big your soft drink is. If your kids are running a lemonade stand, watch out, the feds are looking for them too to shut them down. There was a couple recently in Missouri that went through, I think, a 2-year saga with the USDA. What was the crime that the USDA was really concerned about? This couple was growing bunnies. In fact, their 14-year-old was growing bunnies, and you know how bunnies are, they breed like rabbits, so you get quite a few of them. So they went to their local USDA office and got a permit. They talked to a fellow at church that worked for the USDA. They thought they had everything in order, and they were selling the rabbits. And USDA showed up one day with an agent with no warrant, no specification, and said, well, you're not in compliance, you don't have the right permit, and you're going to be fined for each bunny you've sold. I don't know how much it was, but it was pretty significant, $500,000, but for each bunny. Whatever it was, it added up to about a $91,000 fine. And the government said, but we're compassionate, you can pay by credit card on our website. And they said, well, we don't have $91,000. So they said, either pay or within 30 days, you'll owe $3.1 million. This went on and on and on. Finally, somebody from Missouri, their senator got involved, I got involved, and we were going back and forth. The USDA finally got embarrassed, but it took all of us getting involved to embarrass them. They finally got embarrassed, but they still in the end wanted to save some face, and so they wanted this farming family in rural Missouri to sign a statement, a consent agreement, saying that they would never breed animals again. It's like, all we did was sell bunnies with the wrong permit, and we live on a farm. How are we going to run a farm without, we can no longer breed animals? Your government literally is getting out of control. Light bulbs. You can't buy the light bulbs you anymore. I had a woman in front of me in the committee and I said, well, do you not believe in choice? And she said, well, yeah, I do, but you just have to choose the choices we give you. They decided to try to get an energy efficient, cost effective light bulb and they offered a prize. President Obama wants to have a green Republican, so he offered a prize. $10 million for an energy efficient, cost effective light bulb. You know how much it cost? $50 for one light bulb. And they got a $10 million prize